welcome you. If this is your first time listening, what's up? What's up? I am an attorney. I am a person who also cares about her community. Look for the interesting aspects of a story. And again, I talked about it. I'm appreciative of all my listeners, all the audience that have been tuned in. We've had interesting conversations all the time during lunchtime. Big up former Broward County Mayor Dale Holness. I enjoyed actually his show earlier on Labor Day. He did a great job talking about the importance of labor and why the labor movement means a lot in today's election, right? Today's political marketplace. And basically, we got to know what we're voting for and who we're voting for. I want to remind you that the last day to register to vote is October 7th in Florida. So we have a lot of issues that are going on from our community. Again, gun violence being one of them. I'm going to pick up where I left off a little bit just to touch on what's happening in Georgia. Again, such a sad story, such an incredibly terrible and horrific set of circumstances befell the school there in Barrow County, Georgia, where young people woke up and went to school. And at 10:30 in the morning, somebody decided, a young person, a 14-year-old, decided to bring a weapon to school and unfortunately took the lives of 4 innocent people, injuring 9. We know the story all too well here in the United States. We've heard of it. We see it over and over, but he has now been officially charged with a crime. Now, the other part I want to point out that I did make a prediction on yesterday, not saying that I'm always right, but I really did leave some space open as to who was really responsible for this type of act. Was it the child, the 14-year-old? Was it the parent? Who is responsible? And come to find out that they have decided, the officials in Georgia have decided to charge the father. They have decided to charge the dad as well for buying the AR-15 style weapon that this young man used in this horrific attack against his fellow classmates yesterday in Georgia. So that is something that we're going to keep an eye on. Again, that 14-year-old suspect was taken into court today. The Georgia high school student who decided to take the lives of his fellow classmates, he and his father, both of them, the shooter, the child who did the shooting, as well as the dad who purchased the weapon. Listen, times have changed. First time you didn't hear that the parents were also responsible, or what we say in the law, culpable. But this one, oh my, they have charged the father as well. And they were arrested for, the father was arrested for allowing his son to have a weapon. And both will stay in custody after their lawyers decided not to seek bail. That was as of the hearing this morning on Friday. So the young person, the perpetrator, who allegedly shot up his school, has been charged with 4 counts of murder. And again, he's accused of using a semi-automatic assault-style rifle, taking the lives of 2 fellow students and 2 teachers just Wednesday at Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia. That's an hour outside of Atlanta. His father now, I'll say the father's name, Colin Gray, now also faces charges. We got to have the discussion because this was not just a situation where a 14-year-old acted alone. This is the law now saying, mommy, daddy, person who is responsible for this child. You are the one that purchased this weapon. You're the one that gave this child access or didn't prevent the child from having access. Listen to me again. Did not prevent the child from having access to said weapon, knowing that this child had been unstable or this child had shown over a year ago certain signs or propensity, or was accused of anyway, putting up horrific messages on a social media platform called Discord, threatening at his middle school at the time when he was 13. The same shooter that shot up on Wednesday had claimed that he was not, or that his social media had been hacked and it wasn't him. But in fact, looking back at it now, law enforcement did not find probable cause to arrest him or the dad at that time, but here we are. So again, our thoughts and prayers are with, all of the students across this country, all of the students throughout Florida, South Florida, Georgia, where this has happened. Because again, it was a horrific and all too common, set of facts that we see all the time. Sound like we're playing the news on repeat, but we're not. So I'm going to get into the voting. I'm going to get into why stuff like this, when it happens, it reminds us that there's a reason why we need to be aware of who we're voting for and making sure we have a plan to vote when it's time. Again, I'm Suzette Speaks. I want to welcome you. It's a beautiful Friday here in sunny South Florida. What's up, Miami? You can always listen in on 94.3 FM, Miami Kendall Wagwan, Fort Lauderdale 102.1 FM, North Miami Hollywood 102.3 FM, as well as Orlando Lake Mary Wagwan Winter Guard 99.7 FM. And the family is also extended up to Vero Beach, Port St. Lucie. What's up? Good to see you guys and good to hear you guys. I'm glad you're listening in on this beautiful Friday 105.3 FM. There's a presidential debate coming up. Wanted to also highlight some of the conditions under which Vice President Kamala Harris has now agreed to debate President Trump. First of all, do you take this seriously? I'm wondering what it's going to be like. There are two moderators. One is David Muir. He is an outstanding correspondent from ABC News. Comes on the TV most evenings if you watch nightly news around 6:30 Eastern Time. You will also have a second moderator, a woman named Lindsay Davis. Lindsay Davis is also an outstanding journalist. And Lindsay Davis will be representing, I think, for the ladies. I'm glad it'll be a balance, right? Two different perspectives. And these very experienced professionals will be questioning, these two candidates. Now, what's interesting is I think I have a call. Let me see what the caller is saying. Let me see. Hold on one second. Caller, you're live. How are you? Yeah, tell me. Yes. Mm. Y- Yeah, yeah, yes. Mm. Say it to my face. That's what she said. That's exactly what she said. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm, mm, yeah. Well, I think she's gonna have to do a couple things. I agree with you, right? She did say if you have something, like the old saying goes, if you have something to say, Kamala Harris says, say it to my face. So guess what? This will be the first time she actually ever meets him. You know that. They have never met before. Even during the inauguration proceedings, etc., they've been in the same room, like the State of the Union address, etc., when the president addressed both sides of Congress, but she has never met him. I'm finding that very interesting, right? We haven't heard yet how close the podiums will be to each other. Remember when he debated Biden, they were like 8 feet apart. It was very close, like nose. Mm. You don't think she should shake his hand? Wait there, wait there, wait there. What? I'm sorry. You think how can mm, yeah. All right. So our caller is very passionate and this and considering all of his statements, I agree that it is going to be very contentious. This the what has been said before, we can't pretend like it hasn't been said. by him about her, about things like I said, race. We just had a good conversation here about race, nationality, identity, those type of things. So of course he's going to come with that foolishness. But you're saying from the very inception of the debate, you wouldn't want Kamala Harris to shake Donald Trump's hand. That's your position. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Okay, so mm. So the caller said fist bump alone. No shake hand, fist bump. The- I wish I could play music. If I were, then I were. War. That's so he is. If you guys, sorry for the people online, I don't know how to play this caller out loud in the studio, but I know you guys who are listening in our listening audience around South Florida and Central Florida are getting the full 100. Uh-oh. So you said all bets are off. Don't even come touch me. Again, yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Uh-uh. Yeah, yeah. Wow, taught the thing. So you are saying because of the untruths, my mother would just say lie, but my grandmother said don't say lie, say untruths. And the disparaging remarks that Donald Trump has made. The thing is, why I really am excited about this, and again, this is talking about the presidential debate, you guys. Next Tuesday, September 10th, tune in, right? 9 o'clock Eastern. It will be on ABC, and you can also watch it on CNN, and I'm sure it will be simulcast somewhere. Maybe if you have YouTube, if you only have internet and that thing, I don't know, like go with the cable bill and whatnot. But you should be able to listen it also, like on NPR, any of those radio stations. You should be able to catch this debate. I am advising, I am pleading, I am saying to you, with all the stuff that's going on in the world, with the wars we have overseas with Ukraine and Russia, looking at what's going on with Israel and Gaza, Wagwan, even in our backyard right here in South America, what's going on with Maduro and not giving up his presidential bid, saying that he won when many observers have said no, the opposition in Venezuela is a real winner. When we look at the border, when we look at all the issues that's going on with the economy, people feeling the pinch at the grocery store when our money is not going as far as it used to. Everything is, even though inflation has staved off, the job market has cooled off as well. There was a great recession after pandemic where people were jumping from job to job and just moving. Now they're saying that people are staying in their jobs longer and not quite moving around as frequently, but that can be a good thing. If you're in the job market, it can be less of a advantage if you're just going into the job market and you're looking for jobs because people are not moving out of their jobs. There are certain things that a president must have the capacity to do and to address. So I want to know from you, Mr. Carla, do you think Kamala Harris's experience as a prosecutor, right? She was a courtroom prosecutor for many years. She was the attorney general, meaning the top lawyer on behalf of the state of California. Really, she's won more races than he has ever run, right? She won exactly. And is that's what I said. Even when I think about it, she's already laid out. Remember the clip, and I go and find the clip. She have to be careful. Yes, exactly. And I think that's what so you believe with all her experience, like I said, a courtroom prosecutor. 'Cause remember, she said in one of her first speeches after declaring herself a candidate, she said, I've put men in jail who have hurt women. I've put people who tried to beat the system in jail. I've done all this. And she finished with saying, I know Donald Trump type. Oh, she said it right there. I said, I listen and I see on the line, hey Rondo, with your comment says we're taking it one step at a time, like the turtle to the finish line to victory. Harris Walls Tim Harris Walls, Glory. Okay, I see you online, sis. Thank you, Wonderful 34. If you're watching on the platform, we do have Voice of the Caribbean app. So, okay, and watch what's, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't think he can really talk policy about anything. First of all, he suggested this is, yeah, yeah, which again is so ironic. He's the one that put three Supreme Court justices in position, conservative justices, so that Roe versus Wade, a woman's right to choose, would be overturned. And now that he sees it's super unpopular, the man is coming as a flip flop, talking about IVF and ain't gonna pay. The American people are not foolish. American people are not foolish. No, he has no clue how he would pay for it. I saw a clip of him just yesterday being questioned about, what specific policy initiatives would you push for childcare, right? Because we know they said the average woman in America across the entire country, this is the median, makes about 40 to 45,000. Now you have some households that are led by two people. You have some households that are led by one person. When you look at the amount of people have to pay for childcare, and he was asked directly what would he do as a policy initiative, and the man come with some, well, childcare is important, and we need it, especially in America, and we're going to tax foreign companies when they bring products into our country, and that's going to help pay for it. And I'm like, this is what we have to consider as a serious contender versus a lady who has actually sat in the United States Senate, has sat as the Attorney General of one of the largest states of our union, has sat as her district attorney, state attorney, and has actually climbed up the rung as a woman. You have to be good to do that. You can't play, you can't finesse that. There's no privilege for that. You have to actually have done the work and been very good at what you do to convince statewide office for people to in your entire state of California to bring you up. Final thought, Carla. What do you think is going to be the outcome? Do you think it's going to be as what should I say, as shifting as Biden Trump's debate was? Do you think it's going to leave a mark like that for the American people to remember? Do you think, Carla, you hear me? Do you think this will have that type of impact? We got a minute before break. The same impact that Biden Trump debate that literally had President Biden remove himself from the race. Do you think this debate coming up on Tuesday, September 10th, 9 p.m. Eastern, do you think it will have that level of impact on the American voter and even on this election? Mm, mm, yeah. Wait 1 second, Carla. We literally have to take this break. Can you hold on the line and we'll bring you back right after break? All right after this.
Dan and DJ Mikey Mike each and every Sunday at the Boca Bar, 6,000 Grace Road, Suite 100, Boca Raton. And there is no cover charge, no table charge. Reggae, soca, R&B, hip hop, live band on stage. The Flex Band with DJ Mikey Mike playing the music. That's at the Boca Bar, 6,000 Grace Road in Boca Raton. For more information, 561-961-3330 or 954-816-3679. Thanks, Blue Dog Cookout, for your support to the station.
Slow Jam Legal provides legal services in areas of immigration, family law, personal injury, municipal and real estate conveyance. Attorney openings is available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year via email at info@flowjamlegal.com, 600 South Patrick Avenue, Suite 405 in Fort Lauderdale, at 4727 North Newperson Drive in Lauderdale, 954-358-2020. And in Jamaica, at the Dunrodden Plaza, 20 Dunrodden Avenue, Suite 10, telephone 876-755-4594. Office hours, Mondays through Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturdays by appointment. Thanks, Flojan Legal Team, for your kind sponsorship to WZPP Radio.
You guys hit the like button.
The city commission is running again for long.
Hit the like button. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you.
University. He received a bachelor degree in political science from the Undercollege University for 30 years. With the camera as work as an elected commission, dedicated social worker, was coach, clinical therapist, counselor, business owner. Richard Campbell is now running for city commissioner for Lauderdale to build a stronger economy, lowering taxes, enhance local businesses. He will work to provide a healthy, safe, and support service for seniors. Richard Campbell will enhance Lauderdale development and expanding on housing for all workers' families. With your force, Richard Campbell will work with the police department to ensure safety for all our neighbors and loved ones. November 5th is election. Richard Campbell wants you to vote for him for the next Lauderdale City Commission.
Get ready for the 2024 edition of Taste of Lauderdale Lakes, presented by the City of Lauderdale Lakes. Join us on September 14th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at Vincent Tourist Memorial Park for an unforgettable evening of culinary delights and artistic experiences. Enjoy delicious food and beverage tastings, live music, art displays, and live painting. Plus, savor exclusive mixology creations by Uncle Nearest. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite. General admission for $20 or all access for $40. Taste the best of Lauderdale Lakes. Thank you, Lauderdale Lakes, for your support of this mission.
Florida's premium distillery, Colors Music Fest returns on September 29th, 5001 South Flamingo Road, Miramar, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Hosted by Denise Trastudiano of Church Reports in Paris and Paris. Music by Chris Diamond, Champion Squad, Angel TJ, Sir Toxic, Trixie Innocent, Joshi Vibe, and Kuya from Milan, from Bahamas. It's Little Giants, Pusha Jr., and DJ Stan. Free soul tickets and combined packages are available on Eventbrite at Colors Miami.
Credit, no problem. Easy financing, no social, no problem. Apply online for easy approval and finance options. M&J United, your one-stop shop for all your auto needs. Used cars, 3511 Northwest 19th Street, Lauderdale Lakes. M&J United Auto Sales is your Caribbean-owned dealership. Thanks, M&J, for your continuous support.
Teddy Upholstery specializes in auto, boat, sofas, chair beddings, and lots more. For more information, Teddy can be reached at 561-929-5234 or email at teddyupholstery@gmail.com. Teddy Upholstery is located at 5618 Northwest 8th Street, Margate.
Thank you for your support to this radio station.
WQPN 94.3
In a rhyme, in a car, one llama.
LPFM.
Hey. Hey, rest in peace. Please, rest in peace. Listen, I had to play a little Rich Homie Quan. If you guys don't know, this is Voice of the Caribbean. Suzette speaks live on your radio. Y'all know that Rich Homie Quan. If you don't know who that is, for my Zennials and Millennials, you might know that song. I just played a little bit of it. Just to pay homage to another young brother, another young rapper losing his life, unfortunately, out of Georgia. I guess he didn't really, I believe he didn't really get enough due when he was with us, but a sad, sad, tragic loss. It apparently was due to, and it's again alleged, we're not sure, possibility of overdose. And we've seen back-to-back tragedies. Again, rest in peace, Batman Scoop. on stage, literally doing what he loved. We've lost a legend in hip hop, Batman Scoop. And now, as of yesterday, there were reports out of Georgia that Rich Homie Quan is his stage name. And again, the song I was playing was called Lifestyle, but he is, again, one of the members of I think it's Young Thug's Rich Gang. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. We're gonna get back to the Caribbean side of things. But we are broad people and we listen to a lot of different music. We listen to hip hop. And again, there was a time where Rich Homie Quan and that crew had the radio waves, no matter where you were in this country and around the world, on lock. And again, I bring it up because it just made me so sad that at 33, gonna be 34 years old, a young man again made decisions that unfortunately linked to possibly abuse of drugs. You know, has lost his life at such a young age and is so talented that we just wanted to take a moment just to mention that on the airways. But right now, Suzette Speaks Live on your radio, Voice of the Caribbean, I. We're here on a beautiful Friday. This is called Fire Friday. That's what we like to call it. Fire Friday is where we turn up, turn up, turn up. The DJs are coming fully loaded, as Em said, fully loaded. And we can't wait for the mix. I'm telling you, the drive time mix today, going right back to the evening vibes. So we can't wait for that. 94.9 FM Miami, 102.1 FM Carla. I'm coming right back to you. 102.1 FM Fort Lauderdale, 102.3 FM. What's up, North Miami? What want Hollywood? Orlando, we see you, we hear you, we love you. 99.7 FM. And of course, Bureau, Port St. Lucie, big up yourselves. 105.3 FM. Suzette Speaks come to you live every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. talking about politics, trends, and news you can use. We were talking about the big debate. I think, again, I am predicting this will be one of the most watched debates in presidential history. We were talking to the caller. Carla, are you still there? Nothing but fire, pure fire today. Fire on the talk shows, fire on on the music shows, all of that. We're bringing it for the people, by the people today. But we were talking to you about the debate and what's going to be happening next Tuesday, September 10th, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can catch it live, ABC on CNN. Of course, they'll probably be streaming it on the YouTube side. If you're listening on the radio side, you can find it. And I think most Americans and people who are invested in this country want to tune in. I'm saying people from around the world are going to be looking and watching us, seeing what we're about, what these two leaders are going to offer, and the contrast between Vice President Kamala Harris and the contrast of her and former President Trump. So I was asking you about the shift that this debate can make because, again, the shift that the last debate had, and this again, guys, you have to remember this is the only one that's scheduled for this next 60 days. We are 60 days from the election. And right now, this is the only debate that's on the books. Okay, this is the only time they'll be head to head. What can we expect? We're going to just talk about our expectation. You know, again, September 10th, 9 p.m. Eastern, the debate will run for 90 minutes with 2 commercial breaks. ABC is hosting the debate at the National Constitution Center, a private nonprofit education center and museum dedicated to the United States Constitution in Philadelphia. So they will be in Philadelphia. The moderators will be David Muir, ABC World News Tonight host, alongside anchor Lindsay Davis. There'll be 2 of them. Neither David Muir nor Lindsay Davis had moderated a general election debate, though both have moderated presidential primary debates. Okay, so how can you watch it? Again, you can go on ABC News or stream it on ABC News Live. That's on the online. Disney Plus and Hulu will also have it. And viewers who do not have a cable subscription can watch it on abc.com. So nobody should be left out, even if you don't have cable. You can watch it online if you have internet. abc.com will be streaming it. Also wanted to note that the debate rules, right? There will be no hot mics. Actually, it's interesting that Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, wants the mic on. She prefer it, but she agreed that when a person is not speaking, their mic will be muted. I don't know. Carla, do you think it benefits her to have a muted mic, or would you agree with her that a hot mic would serve her better, where you could hear him rumbling and making side comments in the background? Mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm. If she gets under his skin, yes, I know that would be. If she, that's what I heard. I heard one commentator, Angela Rye. Shout out to Angela Rye. I was watching her online. She's a former CNN commentator and she hosts a show. What is it called? I know they're on iHeartMedia. I can't think of it. But bottom line is, she said she hopes that Kamala Harris strategizes on how to get under Donald Trump's skin at the jump. She wants her to go out there, heavy hitting Don the Con. If you vote for Don the Con, et cetera, et cetera. That was her suggestion, not saying that she'll do that, but she was saying that she needs to make a heavy contrast between herself and that every question she answers, the first 30 seconds, she should spend on what she believes, but then quickly use the last 30 seconds to poke holes in and question what President Trump has either not done or what policy he has not undertaken to do the same, to address the same issue. What do you think her strategy should be? Mm. Wow. Okay. So you're saying fully, I. So you're saying she hits our hard. Mm. Mm-mm. So your strategy, if you were advising the Kamala Harris camp, because the interesting thing is Donald Trump say he's not really preparing, and I know we would say marginal because I think he's actually preparing for real, but he doesn't want to act as if he is preparing to kind of set a low bar, set a low expectation. So he said when asked, are you preparing, sir? He said he has been um preparing his whole life, I think was his comment. And of course, she has taken this very seriously. Vice President Kamala Harris says she's hunkered down basically when asked, how's it going? She said, it's going well. She's not, overcasting a too much of a, high performance. I think she knows herself and knows what she's capable of, but she has been, very conservative when asked how's the prep going. But again, the vice president's team had pushed to keep the mics unmuted, which is routinely the case in presidential debates, but was reversed in June, just this last time, with Joe Biden and Trump. So at the Biden campaign's request, hot mics would have allowed the candidates to challenge each other, which Harris' campaign had hoped might have prompted Trump to have what they call intemperate outbursts on national TV. Cause say I can't wait to see the body language. I hope she holds her frame. You can't do too much. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let me. Uh, yes, 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 yes. I agree with you. You read my mind because that's, I think, the one place that Donald Trump wants to make this about race instead of policy, right? She is a woman. Never had a president that was a woman. We had Hillary Clinton run. We had Geraldine Ferraro run. We had rest in peace to the trailblazer Shirley Chisholm, our Caribbean sister, who born in New York, parents from I believe Guyana and Barbados was the first. Listen, Trump he stands out now that he doesn't have Joe Biden across from him. His shortcomings, his own coherence, his own memory, his own, yeah, I'm so confused. Go ahead. Wow. And that's his own,
The name, slap, they call him every single thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's the
All Japanese will come and answer some question and get through this. And just play respectable and she can't, nothing wrong things are going.
well, well, I think you're right. I do believe that if she maintains her frame, if she doesn't get caught up in his, you know how he loved to pivot and not answer the question, and how yeah, he loves the theatrics. He likes to, yes, he wants to,
Here she is, answer, this, that.
yeah, yeah, he takes over. He absolutely takes over and tries to act like the moderator.
And if she says in not answering a question, when she come, when I see her time, I should say, with all due respect, the question you're asking you didn't answer. Are you supposed to let him answer the question? Or are we supposed to straight from the thing? Or it's not a debate? Because if I'm not answer the question when you ask, it's not a debate.
Yeah, no, he's very avoidant, and he likes to talk about what he wants to talk about when he doesn't understand the question or doesn't have a policy to back up where he stands. He is much more apt to just say something else and talk in a whole different direction. What I don't like now is that during these debates, the moderators are not required to fact check. It's up to the candidates to fact check. So you have to do two jobs as a candidate now. You have to stand up there, state your position, be ready to purposefully and plainly, clearly explain to the American people where you stand, but you also have to stand and correct any misinterpretation or direct deceit, direct lie that comes from your opponent. So much so that you have to, be very clear. What I want to point out is the candidates don't have any cue cards. They don't have any teleprompter. All the candidates will be equipped with is a pen, a paper pad, a water bottle. That's it, right? Any type of props or pre-written notes not allowed. Trump won the coin toss, so they had a coin toss ahead of time, right? Trump won the coin toss to decide either the order of the candidates' closing statements or which podium he wanted. So the former president, Donald Trump, again chose to select the order of the statements, opting to give the last closing statements. He wants to be the finisher, the last voice you hear before the moderator close. He's going to give the final closing statement, right? She has to go first. So she got to choose which side of the stage, and she wanted the podium to the viewer's right hand side, right? So she, so he gonna have the last statement.
The seat already.
Yes, Carla. So Harris and Trump will,
She can't answer back.
you know that. Well, I appreciate it, Carla. Any final words for you as we prepare for this big debate, September 10th, next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you don't have cable, you can watch it on abc.com on the internet. You can also watch it on CNN. You can watch it on ABC, and I'm sure it'll be on like NPR and other local news outlets. What else? Final thoughts do you have when it comes to this debate coming up on Tuesday?
At the point of contact where the debate is going to start, we have to pray for our. There's no distance in prayer. Because, listen, telepathical movement, it's like when I thought yesterday, yes, they was thinking the same way.
Mm.
Pray because the Father and the partial, and pray earnestly because they want the wicked man can't pray for you, the evil can't pray for you, The righteous man heals many.
Mm. 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 Mm.
And I like some people want to know your business to come talk about pray for you. You can't pray for me if you're wicked and you have an evil heart. You're not going to help me. So once we have the righteous mind and the clear mind, we can pray for you and it will go all far away.
Awesome. I thank you for that. Thank you for that reminder, and I appreciate you calling and giving us your perspective today. You know you're welcome to call back anytime, and thank you for enlightening us on what your thoughts are.
Yes, ma'am. Blessing every time, man. Yes, ma'am.
Give thanks. Thank you, caller. Talk to you soon. Take care. I love his perspective. Thank you again for being on with me today. I've been talking about, if you're just joining, Suzette Speaks Show, and we've been talking about the debate that's coming up September 10th. It'll be like a rumble in the jungle. Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris will face off. They will be in Philadelphia. This will be the first time either of them have met. They have really never met in person. They have been in the same room before, as in like the State of the Union address, but they have, and I think at the inauguration, but they have never met. They will be standing feet apart from each other come this Tuesday, and the only scheduled presidential debate so far that they have both agreed to this for the rest of this political season. So other things we have to note for the audience, there will not be, excuse me, there will not be any studio audience. And I think that's going to hurt Donald Trump because he normally feeds off of the roars and the boos and the jeers and the claps and no clapping, no audience. It's just the two of them and the two moderators, the camera crew, etc. So that I think is going to have an impact on him more so. He's not going to be able to film, feed off of that energy. So there will be no studio audience. And interestingly enough, no opening statements. So normally you give everybody the 2 minutes to introduce themselves, introduce where they'll be on the, on the issues, why America should vote for them. No opening statements, right? So that is consistent with what happened with the Biden-Trump debate in June. Same thing. The moderator said, hello, good evening, America, and then we'll start ask questions. This is the same thing that's going to happen this go round. No opening statements, but Trump had the coin toss. He won it, and he chose, you could either choose where you stand on the stage, or you could choose which podium you get. He chose to end with the last closing statement, basically go second. She will give the closing statement, and then he will finish up the debate with the final closing statement. Then she elected to take the podium when the viewers look at the TV to the right. So she got to choose the podium because he got to choose whether he went first or last on the closing statements, right? The moderators are the people that are going to introduce both parties, right? And the incumbent will go first, right? So being that Kamala Harris is in office currently, she will go first. She will get the first question. So there are rules to this, guys. They will be allowed 2 minutes to speak and answer the question. So 2-minute answers, 2 minutes for rebuttal, and 1 minute for follow-up. What is that? So when a person accuses you of something or mentions your name, and you say, wait a minute, I want to address, he just accused me of this, or she just accused me of that. I'd like to respond. In that rebuttal time, they have 1 minute to respond to something that directly was said to them and that they want to challenge. So each person has 2 minutes. So basically, you have to get your point in, and you have to challenge the stance or the policy, if that applies, and it is a policy, exists on both sides. We have to make sure that we are going to pay attention, and I want to make sure that you know what's happening with this presidential debate. Again, Tuesday, September 10th. I do believe it'll be one of the most watched in American history. People are tuning in. There is a lot of energy coming off of the Democratic National Convention that was just held in Chicago. Coming on the road now to the campaign last 2 months. I know some of y'all wish it would be over. I know you guys wish it. Some people wish it would be finished now, but we're almost there. This is when we have to put our money, what they say, where our mouth is. The people who care about the country and the policies, we got to have them pay attention. And a lot of people may not be paying attention yet that do care. We have to tell our brothers and sisters, make sure you're paying attention. Now is the time, realizing that this is where we, as a people who are the citizens of this country, who are registered to vote, this is where we exercise our power and putting in office like-minded people. If you are not registered, you have to remember, in Florida, the deadline to register to vote is October 7th, right? October 7th. So if you know of people in your family, in your circle, at your church, at your golf course, wherever you hang out, your beauty shop, your barber shop, and they're not registered, you can make a difference by encouraging them to get registered. We also know that a lot of people got wiped off the vote by mail, where you request the mail and ballot that comes to your house and you fill it out in the comfort of your house and you drop it back off in the mail. and send it back? Well, you have to request that every single year now. It doesn't roll over from election to election year. If you need to get your ballot at home and want your ballot at home, because it's easier. A lot of people vote absentee. Absentee ballot is very popular. So in that vein, you have to have a voting plan. I'm going to vote by absentee or vote by mail. I got to order mine. Let me hurry up and do it now before I forget so that it comes. Oops, my ballot is in my mailbox. Thank you. I fill it out. I get to take my time. I get to look up the races, see who I really support, and go from there. And I get to push, the people who I believe will carry my message to Tallahassee and carry my message, right? Address my needs to Washington, D.C. I get to put people who I believe will stand for the same values that I stand for, right? Who will fight for the issues that I'm concerned about. You concerned about inflation? Who you think gonna do a better job? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? You concerned about immigration? Who do you think is gonna address it in a way that you believe it should be addressed? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? When we look at environmental issues here in Florida, what's going on with clean water? What's going on with preservation of the Everglades and drilling and fracking? Who stands in the same position that you believe this state should stand in? Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? When it comes to teaching our children about history and making sure we have access listen, I didn't even get into, I was reading an article about how much the admissions across elite schools, how few Black people have been admitted since the Supreme Court's decision to roll back affirmative action as a consideration of race as a consideration, basically affirmative action as it pertains to college admission. And people are saying, "Oh, that sounds fair." No, let's look at what other key demographic points are given to people that may not apply to people of color. Are we going forward? Are we going backward? The same JD Vance, as a person that came from the Appalachian Mountains, had opportunities because of these same programs, because coming from a place where he was impoverished, that is a consideration that can be used still in terms of what gives a college the opportunity to give one student or another student a little bit more of a edge, more weight on their college admissions application. There are all kinds of things, legacies included. But now that we have seen numbers that have come back that have seen a decrease in the amount of Black students that are allowed at certain universities, we got to ask ourselves, are we asleep or are we awake? And when we have to talk in our kitchen tables, at our barber shops, at our beauty shops, and we're going to complain, I want to ask you, have you voted? I want you to ask the people, have you voted? You want to complain. We're nervous about the future. We want to make sure the country's in good hands. And instead, you are worried about, the complaining, but ask people around you, are you registered? Have you voted? Do you plan to vote? I know the grocery prices is high. I know you're feeling the pressure, stress, single mom, even married people. The economy is no respecter of person. Who do you think will lead this country in the best direction possible? We got a debate coming up, y'all. We want to make sure you know about it. September 10th, that's next Tuesday. And Suzette Speak Show is again here for you when it comes to the politics, when it comes to the news you can use. I appreciate you listening. I'm going to stay for just a little bit longer, but I want you to make sure you lock in next Tuesday. We'll be right back after this.
Fort Lauderdale. Each and every Sunday, taking place at the Blue Dog Cookhouse. It's Caribbean vibes with food, drinks, and live music with the Flex Band and DJ Mikey Mike. Each and every Sunday at the Boca Mar, 6000 Blaze Road, Suite 100, Boca Raton. And there is no cover charge, no table table charge. Reggae, soca, R&B, hip-hop, live band on stage. The Flex Band with DJ Mikey Mike playing the music. That's at the Boca Mall, 6000 Glades Road in Boca.
I forget that song might get me flagged on YouTube. I'll say I'm playing the reggae, but I'm not.
Legal services and areas of immigration, family law, personal injury, Jamaica probate.
I hope you're watching and enjoying. Let me grab some water.
24 hours a day, 365 days a
Grabbing
year.
some water.
At info@flowjamlegal.com. 600 South Andrews Avenue, Suite 405 in Fort Lauderdale, and 4727 North University Drive in Lauderdale, 954-358-2020. And in Jamaica, at the Dunrodden Plaza, 30 Dunrodden Avenue, Suite 10, telephone 876-755-4594. Office hours Mondays through Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays by appointment. Thanks, Flojan Legal Team, for your kind sponsorship to WZPP Radio. Home is always in your heart, but when you can't go back to Jamaica, JA come to you. So talk of the connections
I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.
and they get data to